The title. "14 seconds ago." So, Alright, Shalom, y'all. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire. And Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit beareth witness that they're the children of Yahweh Shem Shai. And Shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, I titled this live, "Get Out of Her, My People," because, because I was watching a video by the elder Yashwamba out of the Dallas GMS camp. On Kanye West. Kanye West basically had, he lost it. He lost it and he threw his Grammy. He threw his Grammy on the toilet. In the toilet. And it shows, how through these celebrities are hot. You 2/3 in general, man. You 2/3 in general. Your these celebrities, these top 2/3, as well as y'all, man. It shows how through you Jakes are in this place. And why y'all need to get the fuck out. Because this place is destroying you. It shall even destroy you with the sword destruction. It shall even... You tribes better wake up. You tribes need to... get out of her, my people. Get out of her. Let me get... Kanye West rant, because Kanye West rant Lupe Fiasco goes in on Kanye West after extended Twitter rant. Lupe Fiasco is basically going in on, what was he saying about...
We'll have the $5.99 steak special. What if everyone gave you the value that the General does? May I? With affordable rates, even if you missed a few payments.
Looks like you're covered.
Go to the General and save some time!
He also, he's in... he's so-called woke, but really not all the way. Really not all the way.
So what are we talking about? Any questions? Let's talk about Kanye. Talk about Ye. We can. I'm with it. Kanye go way back, very far. I'm not a part of his original crew. I'm not a part of any original crew from Chicago except my crew, 1500s, and the Pack, which was the group I was in high school. They're still my boys, and the two with Chicago. Meet people
Might get
until
that
later
right.
into my career.
Some of what he's saying,
but on my way up through my career, one of those people that I actually did meet was Kanye. We worked on some joints. He was making beats, but he was already kind of in and out of his situation. So when I say me and Kanye go way back, we go way back from an industry standpoint. That's under the terms in which we met. We didn't meet at a picnic or some shit like that. We weren't boys. We weren't homies. You know? But he's always been Kanye. He's always been that dude to call you in the middle of the night. I'm like, yo, what do you think about this verse?
I might get that that red.
And he was honest about that shit. You know? And I always respected Kanye.
I'm play this for a little bit too. What he
Kanye was also the guy that he was a super hard worker. Like, if he seen, was like, yo, can you chop up the sample for me? And if you fuck with that, because everybody in the city had deals. That shit wasn't like nothing new.
Yeah, let me pull up that rant. Let me actually pull up that rant. Go into some of the shit he was saying. Which, you know, we know he's been through, but, you know, this, you know, is why I'm coming out. Why I'm coming out with this, his latest rant is why why I'm coming out to this, why I titled it this, with about him, but about you Jakes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, so basically, okay, there's a lot of shit he was going into. Okay, let me. Basically, one of the things he said, July 20th, 2020, I mean, this was earlier, and also Yashawamba brought it out. Everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me. You know, it's about you Jakes. It's about you Jakes. You know, y'all, you know, especially the celebrities, Jake celebrities, but you Jakes in Babylon. It's about y'all. You Jakes that, you know, basically your mind is in Babylon. You know, your hopes and dreams in this place. Okay, so one of the things he was saying that Kim was trying to fly with Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up, like on the movie Get Out, because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday. I like the movie Get Out. Oh, he said Meek is my man, was respectful as my dog. Kim was outlined at worth $5 million and more than that through he says through Christ. You know. Which, you know, it's really Hamashiach, you know, shy, but you know, of course. But y'all ain't listen to me, MJ, and now y'all believe them. Michael Jackson. He said they don't care about us. They tried to fly in with 2 doctors to 5150 me. He said, I've been trying to get divorced since Kim met with Meek at the Waldorf for quote-unquote prison reform. So it must have been something else. I got 200 more to go. This is my lady tweet of the night. Chris Jong-un, Lil Baby, my favorite rapper, but won't do a song with me, okay? So basically, he was basically, he said that in one of the tweets, he implied that movie Get Out was about him. Get Out, also why I titled this Get Out of Her My People. Mentally, spiritually get out of her, the whore, Babylon.
Psychodrama had a deal. Cruise
Let me see what
own craziness, right? Their own ability to be a little bit off center, not realizing that it's a bunch of other non-crazy motherfuckers who helped get you there, and you didn't get here on your own, right? I didn't do shit on my own. Lupe didn't do shit on my own, right? The only thing that I did was write them raps, but it took me trying to be like Jay-Z, trying to be like Biggie Smalls, trying to be like Mos Def, trying to be like Nas, trying to be like Chino XL, trying to be like Cannabis, trying to be... It's a range of motherfuckers who can, if they wanted to, can come in and take credit, like, nigga, that's me. And you're right. You're 100% right, nigga. That's you. When Nas sat down and I was sitting with Nas in the studio, and that nigga's...
Okay, I don't know what he's implying here. I don't know, man. I don't know what he's implying here, but for some reason Yasha Rambo was watching what he was saying. Basically. I don't know. Hold on, Akim. I'll go on again. Alright. Lock you. And go take care of some. Alright, but basically he's realizing that he fucked up by selling his soul. And that he said that the movie Get Out was about him, It's really about you. I want to bring out a scripture on that. Also it tells, they get that from the scriptures as well, because it also tells you, Jakes, to come out of her, my people. Revelation 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. And that ye receive not of her plagues. Verse 5, For her sins have reached unto heaven, And Yahweh had remembered her iniquities. Come out of her, my people. Meaning come out of her mentally. Come out of her mentally, and spiritually. Come out of her, and back to your power, back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that ye be not partakers of her sins, be not defiled with their sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For sins. Yeah, man. We're supposed to come out of her as a people. Cause her plague's gonna come in one day. Verse 8, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord power Yahweh who judges her, man. She's gonna be rewarded even as she rewarded our people. Verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double. Hey, verse 7, man. No, wait, that's the point right there. We're supposed to come out of her. We're supposed to come out of her. Come out of her ways, man. Because Isaiah, according to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, talking about Babylon, which this is modern day Babylon. So, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto him, them shall be thrust through, man. Shall fall by the sword, the exact wording. Verse 16, their children shall also be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. So this is the plagues that this place is going to receive. And those that are defiled with their sins, those that of you Jakes that join yourself to this place and to these devils, you're going to be destroyed along with them. Yeah. You Jakes that want to trust in this place, that want to vote for these devils, want to vote for Trump or Biden, thinking that they're going to save you from the curses, save you from the destruction. The curses destroying you. Y'all, you Jakes, you need to wake the fuck up, because neither of these devils care about you, and they're actually planning your destruction. These devils are they both hate you. They're both for your destruction. They both got a plan to put you in FEMA camps, to chip you, genocide you, then chip the rest. They both have that plan. Y'all need to come out of her. That's part of her plagues, that these Gurkha troops gonna be running through the streets. These Medes gonna be running through these streets. Y'all from the streets, right? They gonna run through these streets and run through your woman as well. Verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Even you celebrities that are caught up out there. He's stirring up the Medes against y'all. You join yourself to this place. Verse 18, their bows shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Shalom, Aquas. Yeah, I was watching Elder Yashawama's video. He was basically, I watched some of it, and he was bringing out scriptures. He brought out how basically Kanye West, about his rant. He went on another Twitter rant. Kanye West, right? Went on another Twitter rant. Basically, he put Kim K, that witch, part of that witch coven, the Kardashians. He put her on blast. And, also the elites. Because he's found out that he sold his soul, and it wasn't worth it. He joined himself to this place, he fucked up. He was like, hey, he did what Esau did. Sold out. And so he's regretting it. And he's regretting it. He wants to get out. He even said that the movie Get Out is about him. Which, yeah, it literally is about him. But it also is about Jake in America. Even MLK. MLK will tell you that we were integrated into a burning house. You're not supposed to stay in the burning house. You're supposed to get the fuck out. Even he was regretting it towards the end. Working with the Rothschilds themselves to integrate us. He was regretting it. He may have gotten smoked. He may have walked out the back door like Chief says. We don't know. But even he said that. We don't know. But even he said that, though. Kanye West. He's having buyer's remorse. Yeah, he said that MJ basically made a reference to what MJ said in his song. They don't really care about us. That song, right? I don't know, you go like, kick me, kike me, don't black or white me, something like that. They don't really care about us. That song before he got smoked. Khan. Yeah, Khan. When MJ, he had that he's putting the elites on blast. It was something else I wonder about that. Why he ever mentioned the Rothschilds by name, Yeah, call out the elites. Yeah, call out the record deal owners. But why you ain't call out the Rothschilds for? That's the head of the snake right there. Well, why don't you call out the Rothschilds, Kanye West? You're really against the elites. Part of it, hey, that's a part of it, coming out of this place. A part of it, call out the elites. Call out the Rothschilds. Don't just say vague shit like they don't really care about us, shit like that. Refer to MJ, what MJ said. And say that that the movie Get Out was about you. That's vague. That's vague, and you still fear Esau. You're not gonna say shit like that, You're still not willing to risk your life for the truth. Celebrities that do that, yeah, but that's basically, you need to go all in with it. But I think, it's because he realized that he got fucked over. He realized that the deal wasn't worth it. He's having buyer's remorse. you know. So, yeah, that's why you need to get out. These Jakes need to get these celebrity Jakes, man. They're in they're hey they're the house slaves of today. They're in the house of the elites. In Massa's bedroom. You know, they're like Yasharamba said, they're holed out, they're fagged out, and they're bugged out. Because hey, more money, more problems. That's real. More money, more demons, more money. You're right. You're in Massa's house. You're in the house of Massa. You're in his bedchamber. You're in his kitchen. You're closer to the enemy. What makes you think you're gonna have less problems? You're gonna have more than the field slave. Average Jake. You gotta have more. That's what profit a man? What profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul? That's Mark 8:36. Mark 8:36. Yup. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Verse 37. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? What are you going to give in exchange for your soul, man? More money, more problems. Yup. Biggie said that shit. And it's true. The problems are demons. Yeah. So the curses still follow you. You're a celebrity, you sold out, you think you got out the curses, but you didn't. They followed you. Kanye himself, and he struck with madness. Isn't he, because it's mad demons tormenting him. It's legions of demons tormenting him. He's struck with madness. That's one of the curses. As are many of these celebrities. They're popping pills. They're bugged out. They're bugged out because of all these demons that fuck with them. They pop pills. Sometimes that doesn't even help. So they lose their shit. For example, like all of them, you see, you hear about these celebrities. They're bugged out. They're bugged out because they sold out, and they end up destroying themselves, or they get tired of the lifestyle, and they end up putting Esau on blast and trying to get out, and Esau ends up smoking them. Sometimes it's a psyop, it's a little puppet show, but sometimes they really be trying to get out. The only way, also something else is that the only way out of this is through Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Kanye, he's out there into this so-called Christianity, which we know, looking into it, it's like a hustle, but also to promote his presidential campaign, which, I believe he's doing that. Yeah, Kala Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all praises due to him. I believe that it's the presidential campaign Oh, him. Chocolate Cakes. TD Chocolate Cakes, a celebrity pastor. You know, a mega church pastor. He's hustling the people. Kanye, you know, he is trying to be another TD Chocolate Cakes. But he's also trying to help. I believe his campaign, you know, was to help Trump, maybe. You know, I believe so. I believe so because Elon Musk, who is a Trump supporter, immediately endorsed him. Why would Elon Musk, behind the Neuralink project, you know, to create that brain chip, why would he immediately support Kanye for president? You know, there ain't no Jake gonna get up in the White House being the president. That's for sure. You know, they'll let you in as the secretary of who's Ben Carson, the secretary of HUD, Housing and Urban Development. They'll let you in as that. You know, of course, because Housing and Urban Development, that's a Jake. Mainly Jakes are in that. Mainly Jakes use housing, yup, because we go through the curses. So, you know, which that also, you always had officers, Jake officers that were over our people, but Sec 8, but they work for who Esau Edom. You know, and Ben Carson, man, he's one of those that thinks that by kissing Esau's ass, he's gonna like gain power and shit. But you know, Jake's like him. You know, even Kanye was like that, supporting Trump. But Jake's like him. You know, they're in Massa's house. These celebrities are in Massa's house. So when the race war pop off, it was bad for them, especially these average coons. And then you have that's bad for them already. You know, they'll be sacrificed by the elites, the higher level coons, or be slaves for the elites. Be the elites. Oh yeah, they are, Khan. The elite. They're gonna be like the elites. The elite slaves, that the elites, sex slaves and all that. They have them in the bunkers for that. As well as all these Jake children that they kidnap. But that's another story. Which, you know, I believe that they end up becoming these celebrities. But, yeah, man. Kanye, you're realizing it now. You're realizing that you need to get the fuck out. You know. You're realizing that. You know, well, if it's meant for you to get, you're gonna get it. You're gonna call on the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and expose Esau. The Rothschilds, all of them. The Rothschilds on down. But if this is just another temper tantrum, and then they offer you another crumb, okay, shut up, Kanye. They offer you another crumb, you know, a bigger crumb, you know. Then you're what? You're gonna shut up? You're gonna be a good slave or what? You know. Because it looks like that. It looks like you know, because Kanye, you know, Kanye be throwing them fits, them Twitter rants where you get all pissed off about that deal that you made. But you never really go into them as much as you should, as much. So you're still fearful, you know. And then when Esau throws you a crumb, you know, you calm down. You calm down and you go back to being a good slave. Because, you know, y'all celebrities, man, y'all don't want to give up those riches. Y'all the rich rich young ruler, you know, if you was to actually get out, if you was to actually get out, you know, you'd have to give that up. For real. Mark 10, okay. Matthew 19, 16, 30. I'm gonna put KJV. KJV. Okay. Matthew 9, 19 to 16 and 24. See all the rich young rulers of today. You know. And behold, verse 16, and behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life? Verse 17, and he said unto them, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Verse 8, he said unto him, Which? Yahweh said, Thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. Verse 19, honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Verse 20, the young man said unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? You know, and in verse 21, that's the point. Yahweh said unto him, if thou would, it will be perfect. You know, verse 22, really. I'm going to get that. If thou will be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor. And thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. Because you know what? You know what, man? Because, you know, that's the point. Because that, verse 22, but when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. You know, choosing the possessions of this world, choosing the temporary things of this world over the kingdom of Yasharallah. That's like, man, that's how the 2/3 are like Esau, starting with the celebrities. You know, because the kingdom of heaven is going to be way better. These riches are temporary. Everything going to pass away. He didn't want to give that up. He had no faith. Verse 23, he had no faith, no understanding. Verse 23, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, Verily, I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for the rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know? So rich man, you know, it's harder for a rich man. And these celebrities, they have these riches of today, man. That's why I brought that out. Because they're the rich young rulers of today. They don't want to give that up. They don't want to give these riches up. You know, they put them on blast. You know, they'll lose everything and perhaps their life. They don't want that. They don't want that. They don't have the faith. They don't have the faith to do that. The faith in Yahweh. By Hashem outside. They may know of this truth, but they don't have the complete comprehension of it. That he's gonna basically, if you was elect, he's gonna have your back out here. They don't have the faith. And you two, they're representative of you 2/3. You hear the truth, but you don't want to give up these carnal things. You don't want to give up the lust of your eyes and of your flesh and the pride of life. You don't want to give that up. It's too much for you. You don't want to give that up, you know, and suffer now, crowned later. You don't want to do that. Get crowned later because you don't have faith that you're going to get crowned later. You know, you're like these 2/3 that were in the desert. Exodus 12 verse 14. This is you 2/3. Salakia. Exodus 14 verse 12. Because there were, okay, yeah. Verse 10, and when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians, okay, but the Egyptians were saved because, and the Lord, Yahweh, hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with a high hand. Verse 9, but the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them and came in by the sea, besides Pi-hahiroth before Baal-Zephon. Verse 10, and when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lift up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were so afraid. And the children of Israel lift up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid. What? And the children...
Paragraph, and when Pharaoh drew...
Okay, for some reason it repeated. And they were so afraid, and... Yep. And behold, the Egyptians marched after them. They're so afraid. Okay. And the children... Okay, and they cried out unto the Lord, unto Yahweh. And verse 11, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? In the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Verse 12, it is not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. You know, Jake, man, especially you 2/3, no faith, faithless dogs, like some brothers have put it, have no faith, so you don't want to get out. You're too afraid to get out. It's like you were too afraid to get out of Egypt. And Moses, verse 13, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them no more forever. You know, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you today. Fear ye not, but you 2/3, you're shook in your spirit, and you fear man, you fear Esau, Edom, just like you feared the Egyptians. You know, today, basically what y'all are saying, let us alone, and let us serve the Americans. Let us serve the Edomites. Stop talking about the so-called white man. Stop talking about the elites. Like the Pharisees and Sadducees said to Yahweh, said about because they was worried about Yahushai, said amongst themselves, "Will that this man continue to live, and the Romans shall come, and they shall take away our power, our nation, man." You know, they were afraid of the Romans. They didn't want to get out of that system that the Romans had set up, which they were fully involved in. And that's why they betrayed Yahushai. They were like Esau, selling out Yahushai for temporary things, to continue to serve the Romans because they were scared of them. No king but Caesar, they said. You know, faithless dogs. No king was traitors, man. Two-thirds of Yasharallah, man. You know, that was y'all, you Pharisees and Sadducees. You Pharisees and Sadducees, those that followed after him, 2/3 of Judah, Levi, and Benjamin. That was y'all. We have no king but Caesar. You know, which of course it was supposed to play out that way, that y'all wasn't supposed to get delivered then. But, you know, it shows the attitude of 2/3 of Yasharallah. Y'all are faithless dogs. You know, that, like Esau. That's why Yahushua cursed y'all out and called y'all children, your father the devil. You know? And y'all have the same attitude towards his men. You know, and you 2/3, you know the story. Yahweh, you know, using Yahushua, by the way, he destroyed the Egyptians, you know, using that chariot of fire, that pillar of cloud, and that pillar of fire. He saved y'all. He saved Yasharallah then. But, you know, this time around, second Exodus, you 2/3 are going to be left in the modern day Egypt and get destroyed in Egypt and share other plagues. Since you are fully involved in this place. You know, and there's another example of that, of course, in Numbers 21 verse 5, when you niggas lost your faith. You niggas were grumbling against Moses. Verse 5, and the people spake against, verse 4, and they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. Verse 5, and the people spake against Yahweh and against Moses, wherefore have ye brought us out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loathes this light bread, because he gave them manna from heaven. Verse 6, and Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. He was like, these ungrateful niggas. I just delivered them from you know, I believe he gave them the manna before. Believe so. Yeah, I believe so. That was the time when I believe so. Well, basically, you know, of course, man. Yeah, man. They were constantly grumbling And the people, Numbers 20, verse 3. And the people, verse 2, and there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. Verse 3, and the people strode with Moses, and spake, saying, Would Yahweh that we had died, when our brethren died before Yahweh? Verse 4, and why have ye brought up the congregation of Yahweh into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die here, you know? 2/3, man. Y'all weak, faithless dogs, man, for real. Effeminate, really. Effeminate, faithless bitches. Effeminate. Verse 5, and wherefore have ye made us to come out of Egypt, to bring us into this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. Faithless. They is giving Moses hell. They gave Aaron hell. Just like they give us hell. Verse 6, and Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon the glory upon their faces, and the glory of Yahweh appeared unto them. Verse 7, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod and gather the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So shalt thou give the congregation and their beasts drink. Verse 9, and Moses took the rock from before the Lord Yahweh, as he commanded him. Verse 10, and Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and as he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? Verse 11, and Moses lift up his hand, and with this rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. Let me see some. Oh yeah, because he didn't give credits to Yahweh, He was frustrated, he didn't give credits to Yahweh. So verse 12 say, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron, because he believed me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. Which basically it goes into something else. But yeah, Numbers 21, Numbers 21 verse 5. He sent, and in verse 6 he sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, Salakia, and much people of Israel died. Because they were being niggas. They were being faithless dogs. And the fiery serpents, that represents Esau, Edom. Yeah. You know, because you 2/3, for you 2/3, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he's going to send Esau, the fiery serpent, after you. Shalom, Akia, Bayah, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Barakatah. You know, Jake has to get the fuck out of Babylon mentally. Jake is through in this place. That's why I'm bringing this out. Get out of her mentally. Get out of her spiritually. And I was bringing out how the people still want to be in Egypt. You know, every time. And then Moses, you know, Yahweh had Moses do these different acts. And the people doubted, you know. The people doubted. And you know, Yahweh got tired of it. He sent fiery serpents among the people. Just like he's going to do today. He's going to do during Jacob's trouble. You know, as well Esau, as well as literal serpents, literal teeth of wild beasts. Verse 7, therefore the people came to Moses and said, you know, they regretted it. We have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahweh and against thee, praying to Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. You know, they shall believe you. They shall be willing. The people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Verse 8, and Yahweh said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon the pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bent, when you looketh upon it, shall live. Verse 9, and Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived, and that represents Yahweh Shai. Represents Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai, man. You know, who our people went off and lost faith, you know, and Yahweh Shai came, you know, for those that would come back to save that which was lost. Those that would come back. Those that repent. That heed his warning, man. Those that would come back. And the children of Israel set forward and petitioned about, okay. So basically, yeah, they doubted and lost faith each time. Lost faith. Moses would do something for them. Moses, through Yahweh would have Moses do something for them. And they lost faith again. You know, if for a while it'd be good, then they lost faith again. Jake, man. Jake. You stiff heart. You stiff-necked. You stiff-necked. You Jakes. Oh, let me just go to where it first occurs. Stiff-necked people. Exodus 32, verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Verse 10, now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. See, he actually was like, you know what? I'm going to destroy these wicked ass Jakes and save you, you know. Hey, what Moses said, verse 11, it said, Moses besought And Moses besought Yahweh his power, and said, Yahweh, why dost thy wrath wear hot against thy people, which thou hast brought again forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Verse 12, he said, Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out to slay them in the mountains and consume them from the face of the earth. Turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people. Verse 13, Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and said unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. So he was like considering to destroying them, obliterating them off the face of the earth. Verse 14, and Yahweh repented of the evil which he thought to do to his people. Niggas, man. Because before, what they did is they made that golden calf. They lost faith in Yahweh. Built that golden calf. They was throwing down. When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, what they do? Lost patience. The people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we would not what is become of him. Verse 2, And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings. He succumbed. He fell. He listened to the people. Break off the golden earrings, which are that's very important. You don't listen. Let these 2/3 pull you out the truth. Break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. Verse 3, And all the people break off the golden earrings, which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. Verse 4, And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a golden calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, which is total bullshit. Again, wicked niggas. Verse 5, And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. Verse 6, And they rose up early in the morrow, and offered burnt sacrifices, and brought peace offerings, and the people sat together to eat and to drink, and rose up to play. Verse 7, And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest up out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. Verse 8, They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Hey, man, you 2/3 on this side, y'all are through. Y'all gonna be destroyed. He only got his elect, the 7,000 that did not bow the knee to Baal, that are gonna be saved. You 2/3 that were giving Moses hell. Yeah. Yeah. Even Aaron had fell. He had fell out, man. He went off and did what the what the people wanted. You know, hey, man. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Depart and go up hence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land which I swear unto Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, Unto thy seed I will give it. Verse 2, And I will send an angel before thee, and I will drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Verse 3, Unto the land, a land flowing with milk and honey, for I will not go up in the midst of thee, for thou art a stiff-necked people, lest I consume thee in the way, because they really pissed the Most High off. Verse 4, And when the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man did put on him his ornaments. Verse 5, For Yahweh had said unto Moses, Say unto the children of Israel, Ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up in the midst of thee in a moment and consume thee. Therefore now put off thy ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do unto thee. Man. Yeah, man, that's why you 2/3. This side, y'all gonna be destroyed. Y'all gonna catch nukes. Cause y'all are just, y'all are the same stiff-necked people. According to Acts. Oh, Baruch 2 verse 30 also goes into this. Which is why y'all are in captivity right now. Baruch 2 verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. You know? For in their land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. Verse 31, and I shall know, the elect gonna be saved, they're gonna return from the stiff neck. And I shall know that I am Yahweh, their power. For I give them an heart and ears to hear. Verse 20, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Which is what we're doing right now. You know, striving to make our election sure, hoping to be of that number. Verse 33, and return from their stiff-necked and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before Yahweh. You know, that's what the elect are doing. The elect who want to get out of her. Yeah, the elect. You know, starting with the elect, he's going to bring us back. And I will bring them, verse 34, into the land which I promised oath unto the fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, basically, you know, us getting right, you know, that's going to lead to that. That's basically the point here. And in Acts 32, Acts stiff-necked, Acts 7:31. Okay, that's the scripture. Where Stephen was basically going into you wicked niggas. Acts 7:31. 7:51. Slock. Yeah. Acts 7:51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost. As your fathers did, so do ye. You know, they always resist the Rakakadash. Verse 52, which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted, and they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have now been, and whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers. Verse 53, who have received the law by the dispensation of angels. Prophets are angels, man. And have not kept it, Verse 54, when they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on them with their teeth. Plotting. It was like, they were cut to the heart. They was offended. Verse 55, but he being full, because Jake hates the truth, but he being full of the Holy Ghost, the Ruach HaKodesh, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of Yahweh, and Yahweh standing on the right hand of Yahweh. Verse 56, and he said, behold, I see the heavens open, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of Yahweh. Verse 57, then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon them with one accord. Verse 58, and cast them out of the city and stoned them, and the witness laid down their clothes at a young man's feet, whose name was Saul. Verse 59, and they stoned Stephen, calling upon Yahweh and saying, he was called upon Yahweh and saying, Lord Yahweh shall receive my spirit. Verse 6 and 60, and he kneeled, 59, okay, now it's 60. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Yahweh, lay not this sin up, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep, because Saul was among them. And he would become Paul. He would become Paul and be the greatest apostle. Go to all these, basically go to the Israelite foreigners and wake them up. That's why, That's why. And Paul, and he caught hell from Jake, man. He caught hell from Jake. Both the Jakes that knew they were of the circumcision, both them, they're the ones that betrayed him. And the Israelite foreigners, the ones that didn't want to hear him. The idolaters, ones that were still wanted to be Gentiles and all that. It's the same niggas. Them same niggas. The same two-third heathen in the mind. The same faithless dogs. Same ones. Betrayed Paul, gave, and then he gave him to the Romans. They wanted to kill him, like they did Yahushai. Now, and then you wonder why 70 AD happened. Why did Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai? Why did he unleash Esau? Why did he unleash Esau on Jake in 70 AD? Had them Romans come down and murk them, drive us out the land. Why did he do that? Because them Jakes was being wicked. Them Jakes betrayed Yahushai. Them niggas betrayed Yahushai. They was killing the apostles. They was killing, they handing them to Esau, the apostles, so they could kill them. They was killing, even regular members of the church, Paul, when he was still Saul, he was hunting them down, man. He was hunting the church, the elect, the ecclesia, the gathering, the elect down. And so the same people, you are the same niggas. You're 2/3, you're the same niggas. You're the same niggas that are persecuting our people, that are persecuting that talk shit, scoff in the comment boards about the prophets, because y'all can't kill us, because thy teachers shall no more be backed into a corner. Thine eyes shall see thy teachers, man. Yeah, so why should y'all not be killed, man? Why should Yahweh Hashem Yahushai not unleash the dogs? Unleash his dogs of war, his sword, Esau, on y'all. You know, y'all act like Esau. You act like your spiritual father Esau. Y'all adopt his ways and everything, man. Y'all take his side. So why shouldn't he do that? You know, those that you have, that you want it hope to be, man. The Grecians, the modern day Grecians, those that you hope to be in every way, that you desire their glory the most. They're your avengers. Had them to be their avengers. And adversaries. 2 Maccabees 4 verse 16. Same niggas. The same ones. God. Hey. Let me start from the beginning. Verse 7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be his priest. Verse 8, promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver. Hey, let me get some. Let me pitch, I get me some. Need some water. Preach for a while. Your mouth start to get thirsty. You know, you need some water. Underhand to be his priest. Verse 8, promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. Verse 8, besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up. Hey, my mouth actually feels hot. That's that fire, man. I'm gonna put this shit up. That's that fire that's in our mouths, man. That fire that's in our mouths. I mean, it shall be his fire in your mouth, man. Not literal fire, but man, you know, this thing is real, man. This thing is real. Besides this, he promised to assign 154 and 50 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for the training up of youth and the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem Antiochians, by the name of Antiochians. Verse 10, which when the king had granted and had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion. Verse 11, and the royal privileges granted a special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eponymus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away, and putting down the governments which were according to the law, he brought up new customs against the law. Verse 12, for he built it gladly, a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his salvation, and made them wear a hat. Verse 13, now such was the height of Greek fashions, an increase of heathenish manners, through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest. That coon, in other words. Verse 14, that sellout. Verse 14, that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth. Verse 15, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. Verse 16, by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. So by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers. You know, the same devils. Verse 17, for it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of Yahweh, but the time following shall declare these things. Hey! The time following, you know, is gonna declare these things as well. Ain't no new thing under the sun. Verse 18, now when the game that was used every 5th year was kept at Tyrus, the king being present. Verse 19, this ungracious Jason sent special messengers from Jerusalem, who were Antiochians, to carry 300 drachmas of silver to the sacrifice of Hercules, which even the bearers thereof thought fit not to bestow upon the sacrifice, because it was not convenient to be reserved for other charges. Even they thought he was being too much of a coon. Verse 20, the money then in regard of the sender was appointed the Hercules sacrifice, but because of the bearers thereof, it was employed to the making of galleys. Verse 21, now when Apollonius, the son of Manasteus, was sent unto Egypt for the coronation of King Ptolemaeus Philometor, Antiochus, understanding him not to be well affected to his affairs, provided for his own safety, whereon he came to Joppa, and from thence to Jerusalem. Verse 22, when he was honorably received of Jason and of the city, and was brought in with torchlight and with great shoutings, and so afterwards went with his host unto Phoenix. Verse 23, 3 years afterward, Jason sent Menelaus, the foresaid Simon's brother, to bear the money unto the king, and to put him in mind of certain necessary matters. Verse 24, but being brought to the presence of the king, when he had magnified him for the glorious appearance of his power, got the priesthood to himself, offering more than Jason by 300 talents of silver. Verse 25, so he came with the king's mandate, bringing nothing worthy the high priesthood, but having the fury of a cruel tyrant and the rage of a savage beast. You know? And the rage of a savage beast, you know? Basically, it goes into how okay, let me continue reading. Then Jason, who had, verse 26, as it gets to the point later on, who had undermined his own brother, being undermined by another, was compelled to flee into the country of the Ammonites. Verse 27, so Menelaus got the principality, but as for the money he had promised unto the king, he took no good order for it. Albeit Sostratus, the ruler of the castle, required it. Verse 28, for unto him appertaining the gathering of the customs, wherefore they were both called before the king. Verse 29, now Menelaus left his brother Lysimachus in his stead in the priesthood, and Sostratus left Crates, who was governor of the Cyprians. Verse 20, while those things were enduring, they of Tarsus and Malus made insurrection, because they were given to the king's concubine called Antiochus. Verse 31, then came the king in all haste to appease matters, leaving Andronicus, a man in authority, for his deputy. Verse 32, now Menelaus, supposing that he had gotten a convenient time, stole certain vessels of gold out of the temple, and gave some of them to Andronicus, and some of them he sold to Tyrus and the cities round about. Verse 33, which would Onias knew of a surety, he reproved him, and withdrew himself unto a sanctuary at Daphne that lied by Antiochia. Verse 34, wherefore Menelaus taking... I may have to go somewhere else soon. Finish. Wherefore Menelaus taking Andronicus apart, prayed him to get Onias into his hand, who being persuaded thereunto, and coming to Onias in deceit, gave him his right hand with others, and though he were suspected by him, yet persuaded him to come forth out of the sanctuary, whom forthwith he shut up without regard of justice. Verse 35, for the which cause not only the Jews, but many of all other nations took great indignation, and were much grieved for the unjust murder of the man. Verse 36, and when the king was come again from the palaces about Cilicia, the Jews that were in the city, and certain of the Greeks that abhorred the fact, also complained, because Onias was slain without cause. Verse 37, therefore Antiochus was heartily sorry, and moved to pity, and wept because of that sober and modest behavior of him that was dead. Verse 38, and being kindled with anger forthwith, he took away Andronicus his purple, and rent off his clothes, and leading him through the whole city into that very place where he had committed impiety against Onias, there he slew the cursed murderer. Thus he how rewarded him his punishment as he deserved. Now when the sacrileges had been committed in the city by Lysimachus, with the consent of Menelaus, and the root thereof was spread abroad, 39, the multitude gathered themselves together against Lysimachus, many vessels of gold being already carried away. Verse 40, whereupon the common people rising and being filled with rage, Lysimachus armed about 3,000 men, and began first to offer violence on Irenaeus, being the leader, a man far gone in years and no less in folly. Verse 31, they then seeing the attempt, and Lysimachus, some of them caught stones, some clubs, others taking handfuls of dust that was next at hand, upon all them cast altogether upon Lysimachus those that set upon him. Basically, alright, let me get to that part where Antiochus came down. Because this is the point right here. 2 Maccabees chapter 5 verse 1, about that time, the same time Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. Verse 2, and then it happened that through all the city for the space almost of 40 days, there were seen horsemen running in the air, and cloth of gold, and armed lances like a band of soldiers. Verse 3, and troops of horsemen in array in country, and running against one another with shaking of shields, a multitude of pikes, and drawing of swords, and casting of darts, and glittering of golden ornaments, and harness of our swords. Verse 4, whereof every man prayed that the apparition might turn to good. Verse 5, now when there was gone a false rumor, as though Antiochus had been dead, Jason took at least 1,000 men, and suddenly made an assault upon the city. So this wicked nigga, that's what he did. And that they were upon the walls being put back, and the city at length taken, men and lost fled into the city, into the castle. Verse 6, with Jason slew his own city without mercy, not considering that to get, parentheses, not considering that to get the day of them of his own nation would be a most unhappy day for him, but thinking that they had been his enemies and not his countrymen whom he conquered, because he had a heathen state of mind. You know, he saw them as enemies and not countrymen. His eye was evil towards his brother. Verse 7, howbeit for all these he obtained not the principality, but at the last received same for the reward of his treason, and fled again into the country of the Ammonites. Verse 8, in the end thereof he had an unhappy return, being accused before Aretas, the king of the Arabians, fleeing from city to city, pursued of all men, hated as a forsaker of the laws, and being had an abomination as an open enemy of his country and countrymen, he was cast out into Egypt. Yeah, the wicked nigga. Verse 9, and thus he had driven many out of their country, perished in a strange land, retiring to the Lacedaemonians, and thinking there to find succor by reason of his kindred. Verse 10, and he that had, and some of them, yeah, he went to the Lacedaemonians, because he's actually related. There are people too. The Spartans were Israelites. Verse 10, and he that had cast out many unburied had none to mourn for him, nor had any solemn funerals at all, nor sepulture with his fathers. Verse 11, now then, when that was done came to the king's ear, he thought that Judea had revolted, whereupon returning out of Egypt in a furious mind, he took the city by force of arms. Verse 12, and commanded his men of war not to spare such as they met, and to slay such as went up upon the horses. Verse 13, so he started massacring these jakes. You know, this is the point right here. Verse 13, thus there was a killing of young and old, making away of men, women, and children, slaying of virgins and infants. Verse 14, and they were destroyed within the space of 3 whole days, 80,000, whereof 40,000 were slain in the conflict, and no fewer sold than slain. Yeah. Verse 15, yet he was not content with this, but presumed to go into the most holy temple of the world, Menelaus, that traitor to the laws and to his own country, being his guide, that nigga, that coon. He really is a coon. He's a coon, man. Today, you know, he's in his law, of course. You know, he got to be one of the biggest coons. The biggest. Verse 16, and taking the holy vessel with polluted hands, and with profane hands, pulling down the things that were dedicated by other kings to the augmentation and glory and honor of the place he gave them away. Verse 17, and so haughty was Antiochus in mind that he considered that Yahweh was angry for a while for the sins of them that dwelt in the city, and therefore his eye was not on the place. Verse 18, for they had not been formerly wrapped up. That's Esau. For they had not been formerly wrapped in many sins. This man, as soon as he had come, had forthwith been scourged and put back from his presumption, as Heliodorus was, whom Seleucus the king has set to view the treasury. Verse 19, nevertheless Yahweh did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake. Verse 20, and therefore the place itself that was partaker of them, of the adversaries that happened to the nation, did afterwards communicate in the benefit sent from Yahweh, and as it was forsaken in the wrath of the Almighty. So again, the great Yahweh being reconciled, it was set up with all glory. Verse 21, so when Antiochus had carried out of the temple 1,800 talents, he departed and all hastened to Antiochia, where winning in his pride to make the land navigable and the sea passable by foot. So was the haughtiness of his mind. Verse 22, and he left governors to vex the nation. At Jerusalem, Philip, for his country of Phrygian, and for his manners more barbarous than he that set him there. Verse 23, and at Garizim Andronicus, and besides Menelaus, who was worse than all the rest, bear a heavy hand over his citizens, having a malicious mind against his countrymen, the Jews, man. You're 2/3, especially you fucking coons, you fucking sellout celebrities. Y'all have a malicious mind against your countrymen, the Jews. Y'all have an evil eye towards your brother, malicious mind. Verse 24, he sent also that detestable ringleader, and you 2/3 have an evil eye against the 1/3. Verse 24, he sent also that detestable ringleader Apollonius with the army of 22,000, commanding them to slay all those that were their best age and to sell the women and the younger sort. That nigga. Verse 25, who come into Jerusalem, and he was the Uncle Ruckus of his time, basically, who come into Jerusalem and pretending peace did forbear to the holy day of the Sabbath when taking the Jews, keeping holy day, he commanded his men to arm themselves. Verse 26, and so he slew all of them that were gone to the celebrating of the Sabbath, and running through the city with weapons slew great multitudes. But Judas Maccabeus, those that wanted to come out of her back then, they wanted to come out, from among the heathen. But Judas Maccabeus with 9 others or thereabout withdrew himself into the wilderness and lived in the mountains after the manner of beasts, with his company who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of this pollution. So the point is, Jake was basically cooning. Jake was basically want to be like Esau, basically didn't want to come out, or basically wanted to be a part of it. Wanted to be a part of this whole Hellenization. Taking on the ways of Esau, Edom, ended up being slayed because they had them to be their avengers, them that basically they esteemed so much. Because those were Edomites. They were Edomites. It led to a great judgment on our people. Esau, that's the sword, Not long after this, I'm going to continue reading some. Verse 1, chapter 6, verse 1, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yahweh. Verse 2, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. Verse 3, the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. Verse 4, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. So the heathens were all up in there. Verse 5, the altar was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Verse 6, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. That's coming to him. I believe Esau is gonna. That's one of the righteous decrees that Esau is gonna come with. I believe. Anti-Semitic shit. That's one of the shit. That's one of the. I believe that's one of the unrighteous decrees he's gonna come with. He's gonna blame the Hebrew Israelites for the race war and say anti-Semitic. Push the anti-Semitic shit, as well. That's been out there as well as conspiracy theorists and all that. So if you profess yourself to be a Hebrew Israelite, that's going to be considered a hate crime and shit. I believe Esau is going to do it. The modern day Grecians. I believe so, man. I believe so. Oh, you're a Hebrew Israelite? You said you're a Hebrew Israelite? You said Yahweh Shai, is that name? They're going to forbid to teach in the name. You say they're going to forbid to teach in the name. You say Yahweh Shai is the name? You say Yahweh Shai is the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ? You're guilty of a hate crime. They're going to be like that. I believe they're going to blame us for the race wars. They're going to blame us for the race wars. Maybe a false flag linked to the Hebrew Israelites. So they could directly point to it. And they're going to be like, they're responsible. We've got to ban them. We got to take them off the streets. Anyone that calls themselves a Hebrew Israelite, they're committing a hate crime. Something like that. He's enforcing the shots. He's gonna come down on Jake like that. Try to take out the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, but he's not gonna be able to. Because the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they like the Maccabees. Except we ain't gonna make no deals with the Romans. The weapons of warfare, they gotta have to be spiritual, not carnal. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is gonna raise that standard. Which, he helped the Maccabees because Esau was going too far. Yeah. Doing this, verse 7 in the, trying to making us, forcing us participate in the feast of Bacchus. They were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying, I don't know what that says there, ivy or something, I don't know. And in the day of the month, king's birth, every month they were brought with bitter. They were forced by Esau. But, verse 6, ended up getting so bad that he was destroying the man and his heritage. He commanded. He said that basically he forbade Jake from calling themselves Jews. They were calling themselves what? Greeks instead. Hellenists, Greeks. And that's how you got the heathen, the Jakes that called themselves Greeks and they were being called Greeks. That's how you had that come about because our people were heathenized forcibly during the Maccabean era. And so, because they didn't want to get out, they wanted to participate. They wanted to participate. And the Maccabees, they wanted to get out. Maccabees wanted to get out. Moses wanted to get out, man. 7,000 men during the days of Elijah, they didn't bow to need a Baal. In the same, they want to get out of that heathenistic culture of that time. So the same thing for the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We want to get out. And the elect want to get out. That's one characteristic of the elect, that they want to get out. But you 2/3 want to stay here, be defiled with their sins because you trust the enemy. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, tells you not to trust the enemy, but y'all do anyways. So, we're not going to pity you. It tells you never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rust is sold his wickedness. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouchy. Doesn't matter. You take good heed. Be aware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. You take heed and be aware of him. We take good heed. We take heed. We have been, we woke to this devil, basically. To his devices. So that we don't fall for them. Verse 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? That serpent Esau, he's gonna bite you. He's gonna bite y'all in the ass. You women, you Eves that trust in Esau, you trust in that covenant, the serpent with Eve, right? You trust that in that covenant with death, and you 2/3 niggas, which Yasharallah, Israel is a woman. Israel is the Most High, Yahweh's woman, and so y'all are like wicked women. And y'all trust in that covenant with death, that agreement with hell, which is not gonna stand. But you shall be overwhelmed. Taken by the overwhelming scourge. You shall be taken by it, and trodden down underfoot. They that consent shall be had in derision and trodden underfoot. 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 69. Verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with them in his sins, who will pity? Who will pity you? Who will bewail you, Jerusalem? Shalom, Aquath. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah. I was bringing out the Maccabees were these Edomites. They came down on Jake. What was Jake doing before? Wanting to be like them. Adopting their practices. And you had coons that were in charge of our people, like Jason, that ungodly wretch. Menelaus, and them coons. They had an evil eye towards our people, Uncle Ruckus's of back then. And Jake, 2/3 of Jake, they was down with it. They was down with being Hellenized. The Maccabees though, they wasn't down with it. They got out of the city. And they went to the wilderness to live like the manner of beasts when Antiochus came down. Because Antiochus came down and put hell on our people. Even forbade them from calling themselves Jews. That's how you have the heathen, the Israelites that are like the heathen, that call themselves Greeks. And you have Greeks today. They go to the universities. They are coons. Uncle Ruckus was a high priest back then. Leading us down the wrong way, murdering his own people. And you had even fighting. There two coons were fighting each other. Jake just want to come up. Which, that destroyed our people. That destroyed our people, and Antiochus used that as a reason to come down, and he, showed his horns. Compelling them to basically go follow those, basically celebrate those wicked folly days that they had back then. The Feast of Bacchus. Wicked folly days. Our people, man, had to be forced back then. That's how far people fell. Our people had to be forced back then. Basically, yeah, they had to be forced back then by these devils. But now they willingly do it. Now they willingly celebrate Nimrod's birthday, Christmas, man. 2/3 being Americanized, just like they were Hellenized. Willingly celebrate Halloween, July 4th, Thanksgiving, celebrating the murder of your brother, the Gadites. Come out over my people, celebrating the murder of your own brethren. Yeah, the feast symbolizes that. The turkey stuffed with the stuffing, symbolizing the guts. Man, it's disgusting. Symbolizing Native American with his head chopped off, the guts. The cranberry sauce symbolizing the blood. The corn that the Native Americans, the Gadites, taught Esau to grow. How to grow there, man. Disgusting. And what do they have on that day? Cowboys versus Redskins. Symbolizing Esau Edom versus the tribe of Gad. It's a celebration of the death of your people. Who wins most of the time? Cowboys. It's a celebration of the death of your people. You go ahead and you celebrate it anyways. Cause we're Americans. We're Americans and it's a family holiday. Nah. Y'all gathering to celebrate the death of your own brethren. Halloween. Demons. Clearly demonic. Clearly a celebration for Molech. Clearly. Look in the history. It's available. The history of these folly days have been widely available. Christmas, Xmas. Who are they Xing out? Hamashiach. Celebrating Nimrod's birthday. The December 25th. You know damn well that Yahushua was not born on December 25th. You know damn well. Oh, it's for the kid, so that because she wants you to celebrate, because the women of our nation don't want to let go of these holidays. They're faithless, and you 2/3, y'all are faithless. So you constantly go off, and then you get jacked up. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he unleashes fiery serpents on you. He plagues you. In Maccabees, that's a classic story. He used he used Esau, who you loved so much, to kill you. Because y'all were, to show you, man, that's the irony right there. He used it, the people that you wanted to be like, you idolized. You wanted to follow their ways so bad. Oh, I want to be a Greek. Those people murdered you. And made a lot of your people forcibly into heathens. I want to be a Greek. I want to be like Antiochus. Antiochus, man, he slayed y'all. You know, he came as Cain and slayed y'all. Cause he was your avenger. You want to be like Cain? But Cain wants to kill you. Cain wants to murder you. Just like today, Cain wants to murder you. These American Edomites. They want to murder you. They train to murder you in the race wars. You know, that's these lower level devils. These elites, they plot to destroy you. They plot to destroy you, but you want to be like them. Jay-Z, an example, Rockefeller Records. When the Rockefeller family had a huge role in destroying our families, funding feminism. They hate our people. Jay-Z, man. That dude, man, what? Jay-Z, and then Kanye was with Jay-Z. All of y'all, man, you sell out celebrities. You modern day Jasons. You modern day Jasons. Go beg at the rich man's table, Esau, to give you more crumbs than your brother. Beg him for a come up. Oh, I'll murder my brother. I'll sacrifice my brother for it. For a come up. I'll sell my soul. I'll sell my soul to Satan. That's what you celebrities be like. I'm not saying I'm gonna do that for you fucking haters. You as you know, you have haters that are gonna fucking crop the videos. But come Butter Biscuits, they do it for Butter Biscuits. Little ass Butter Biscuits from the rich man's table. Okay, here, good slave. That's how he be like. Here, good slave, here's a bigger crumb. Here. While laughing at your ass. He actually thinks it's pathetic. He doesn't respect you jakes that sell out. Yeah, he hates the men of the Lord. He hates the elect. Wants to murder us, but he respects us. Esau, these elites, they respect us. You know, because that's what, hey, these Edomites, these heathens, they compare to dogs. And when you show fear to a dog, the dog don't respect you. In fact, you run from a dog, it chases you. But you show faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you be as bold as a lion, the dog doesn't fear you. Khan, it's that simple. Khan, you have faith in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You stand firm, you endure into the end. He at least respects you. Instead of running from the dog, being intimidated and selling out. And you 2/3 Jakes, y'all are really gonna get it. Cause y'all gonna get the horns. Cause y'all don't wanna, and the teeth. Cause y'all don't want to come out of her. Y'all are gonna get these plagues, so y'all are gonna be missile food. Y'all are gonna be in these FEMA camps getting sacrificed. You know, your organs are gonna be harvested for the elites. Y'all, hey man, hey. They're gonna drink your blood and shit. You're gonna be food for them as well. Cause they're a bunch of vampires. These elites are vampires. They're merciless murderers of children. But that's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy. There's no way that these elites are like that. Nah, man. That's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy theory. You're fear-mongering. Okay, when Esau come down on you, when he puts you in the FEMA camp, you know, he's torturing you. He's torturing you like the movie Saw. You know, then you're going to realize they're bugged out. They're 2/3 are through. Starting with the celebrities. They're completely through. Trust in this man. Yeah. The Canaanites is where this devil gets his shit from. The Canaanites, the Egyptians. That's where he gets it from. The Hamites, the original wicked. You know? Spoken of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 4. You know, verse 3, for it is thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. Verse 4, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. Verse 5, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. Verse 6, so there you go. They were abominable, and these Edomites are abominable. Verse 6, with their priests out of the midst of the idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. Verse 7, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of Yahweh's children. Yeah, because these heathens were These heathens, these Canaanites, were the original wicked. And Esau gets it from them. That's what these elites do in these in Bohemian Grove, for example. The Grove, isn't it? And which is spoken of throughout the Bible. That's what they do over there. Sacrifice babies that they kidnap. You want to know why babies go missing so much? These kids go missing. And it's such a high rate, especially around these folly days. Halloween, it's a high rate. Well as these other days, so-called Christmas, Easter, and other periods as well, man. It's high rates of that. And it's because they're being brought, they get sacrificed. They get used in their rituals. These devils, man, they're sadistic. They're sick. They rape the little babies. That's what they do. They terrify them, they rape them, and then they kill them. They kill them and they get the adrenochrome out of them. And they drink that shit. They take it in somehow, or they inject it. Who knows? I don't know how exactly they do it, but they're vampires. Okay? And the Canaanite, and they also to sacrifice unto Satan, unto Moloch, the owl. They have that owl over there, Bohemian Grove. Yeah, which is why they were destroyed. Nevertheless, even those thou spared as men, and did send wasps, forerunners of thine host, to destroy them little by and little. They were plaguing them. He was plaguing them. Verse 9, not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts, or one rough word. Just like he's plaguing this place. He plagued the Canaanites and the Egyptians. Yeah, Kah halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. They got destroyed. The Amalek, which is in our land, which is the Amalekites, are the most vilest of the Edomites. They're the elites. The elites mostly consist of the tribe of Amalek. Horrific. They're the most abominable people ever. The shit that they do, man, makes you cringe. Wicked as fuck. They fucking, oh man, call themselves Jews with oral circumcision, man. They love that shit. These sick bastards. Amalekites are like the modern day Canaanites. They're rulers of this wicked ass kingdom as well. And then the Egyptians, those weirdos. The Egyptians, they committed they committed incest and shit. And they were faggots. They were homosexuals. And their belief incorporated, I believe, homosexuality. Certainly it incorporated incest. They were abominable. The original wicked. Those dirty booty scratching Hamites. Hey, he plagued them. And those Amalekites, those bastards, are going to be destroyed out of that land. But even there being, you see the curses of Deuteronomy 28 are starting to fall upon them as well. Verse 10, by executing thy judgments upon them by little and little, thou givest them place of repentance, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed. They couldn't repent. They're a bunch of dirty heathens. Verse 11, for it was a cursed seed from the beginning, neither didst thou for fear of any man give them pardon for those when they sinned. Just judge them. Those Canaanites, it was a cursed seed. Edom is a cursed seed. Amalek especially. Amalek, that the end, the end of them basically is that, hey, what Balak said about, Balaam, what Balaam said about Amalek. When he was sent to curse us by these heathens, the king of Moab, I believe, another adversary of our people, another dirty, filthy heathens. Numbers 24. Speaking about Amalek. Numbers 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but in his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Amalek, you're through. And verse 18, in Edom, verse 17, I shall see him, because I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and Yahushai, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. Verse 8, and Edom shall be a possession, Sire also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. The saints shall take the kingdom when we get raised up. Verse 19, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. I shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And Amalek is through. Amalek is through. Yeah, all these fucking heathen, man. Hey, 21, and he looked on the Kenites, and took up his parable, and said, strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in the rock. Verse 24, 22, just like Esau do today. Nevertheless, the Kenites shall be wasted, until Ashur shall carry thee away captive. Verse 23, and he took up his parable, and said, alas, who shall live when Yahweh doeth this? Verse 24, and ships shall come from the coast of Shittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber, and he shall also perish forever. All these heathens, through. Amalek, through. Definitely through. Yahweh will have war with Amalek forever. Yeah, through. Con. Might wrap up soon. Yeah, I might wrap up soon. Gotta move it into my room. Yeah. Yeah. Through. So basically, man. Basically, Esau, Edom. Basically, yeah, come out over my people, that ye receive not of her plagues. Yeah, fucking Jake. And y'all don't wanna, y'all gonna receive of those, y'all gonna catch nukes. Along with these devils and heathens in this place. So, hey, I hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. Yashra, God next, Yashra forever. Just kingdom is coming soon. Just hold on, keep your hope up and your faith up. Don't be like those who give up. Don't be like those who lose faith. Don't be like those who lose faith. That's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. Woe to you that. Okay, no, that's Ecclesiastes. No, that may be. Yeah, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, and then that goes into the enemy. It may not be a chapter 12. It may be another chapter. Woe unto them that are lost patience. Yeah, that's Ecclesiasticus 2 verse 14. I'm about to wrap it up. Woe, I'm wrapping it up right now. Woe unto you that has faith. Woe be unto fearful hearts and faint hands in the sinner that goes two ways. Verse 13, woe unto them that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Verse 14, woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will ye do when Yahweh shall visit you? So, keep enduring. Keep enduring. Enduring to the end, according to Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. Matthew 24, verse 13, yep. He that shall endure unto the end. There you go. The same shall be saved. Endure unto the end. Keep your head up. Keep your head up, Our deliverance is nigh, man. Keep your hopes up that you the elect. Alright, Shalom. Yes, I hope this life was edifying. Stay strong. Stay strong. We almost out of here. Shalom. Yashra, Esau, you going down. Going down soon. And call out Yahweh Shemi outside for that. Abba, Babu Ksa, Yahweh Shemi outside. You going that. Moat love a ball, Babu Ksa, Yahweh Shemi outside. Can't wait for that. So it's coming soon. Just hang on. Hang on to that dream. Keep your hopes up, Keep hopes up. The end is nearer than what we believe. Our salvation is nearer than what we believe. Romans 13, verse 11. Romans 13, verse 11. It's like Romans 13:11. And then knowing the time, then now, hold on, Salakia. And then knowing the time, then now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than what we believe, you know? Hey, man, it's nearer than what we believe. Yeah. Verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Verse 13, you know, to cast off the works of darkness. Get right, Jake. You know, your 1/3 that are still out there, and you still got time to come in, you know. Those that can receive it. Verse 13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. You know? Carnal shit, man. None of that. Especially, hey, that Babylonian wine, that's the strongest drink. Can't be on that. Verse 14, but put ye on the Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh, to fulfill the lust thereof, man. Get out of her, my people. The whole point of this life. Alright? Those that, you know, can receive it will receive it. If it clicks with you, you know, keep following Akim, like-minded Akim like me. GMS and like-minded Akim like me. Keep following us. You know, we're going we edifying the people. You know, hey, the brother Kalar Araya. Kalar Araya too, man. His channel. Global food shortages. And U.S. grocery stores are preparing for worst case scenarios, man. This thing is going down. You ain't got much time to get right, man. Truth has been out. The doors of mercy are about to close. The doors to the spiritual ark are about to shut. No one else is going to be able to get in. You know, this place is shutting for business, but the doors of mercy are also going to shut and be locked. You know, like with the deadbolt, man. They're going to be shut. Nobody's going to be able to come in, and y'all are going to be overcome by the overwhelming scourge. Y'all about to be overcome out here, overwhelmed out here by Esau coming in like a flood, coming in with the troops. You know, the famine, Jacob's trouble is going to overwhelm y'all. You know, your covenant with this man ain't going to work. These politicians ain't going to help you, man. This system ain't going to help you. FRNs ain't going to help you. The covenant with death shall be disannulled because it never stood. It was never valid. It never held water. Not even a drop. You know, we have looked into a nation. You know, it's going to be y'all. A nation that could not profit us. That could not save us. And that's Lamentations 4 verse 17. You Jakes did this before with the Egyptians. It's written over 4 times. What's written over 4 times is written for your learning. Romans 4 verse 17. As for us, you know, our eyes are as yet, you know, verse 16, the anger of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai has divided them, you know, the iniquities of the false prophets and the priests has divided them. He was angry, man. Hey, verse 12, the kings of the world and the inhabitants earth and the inhabitants of the earth of the world, the kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. Verse 13. Verse 11. The Yahweh Shem Yahushua had accomplished his fury. He had poured out his fire. He had poured out his fierce anger, and had kindled a fire in Zion, and it had devoured the foundations thereof. Verse 12. And that precept to that is Deuteronomy 32, verse 2. Deuteronomy 32, verse 2. Wait, why did they say it's Deuteronomy 32, verse 22? Yep, okay. It's 2 is something different. Verse 22. For fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn to the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with their increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Yasharallah. Because y'all lightly esteem the rock of y'all salvation. Y'all continue. Verse 15, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. They are waxing fat, Did that back then, Verse 12, though, back on Lamentations. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary enemy should enter into the gates of Jerusalem. Verse 13, for the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. Verse 14, they have wandered as blind men in the streets, grow in darkness. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that the man could not touch their garments. That's curses hitting them back then, hitting our people by nowadays too. Jacob's trouble, ultimate fulfillment of the curses. Verse 15, they cried unto them, depart ye, it is unclean. Depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, they shall no more sojourn there. God, it's polluted, depart. Depart from this place, it's polluted. It shall destroy you, but with the sword destruction. That verse I read at the beginning. Well, towards the beginning, maybe not at it. Not at it though. Micah 2 verse 10. But verse 16, Lamentations chapter 4. The anger of Yahweh had divided them. He would no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. Verse 17. And that nation that regarded not the person of the old, it's coming. Esau Edom really, basically spared not the young to regard the person of the old, Esau Edom ultimately is, man. He's a bitter and hasty nation, worse than these people. They favored not the elders. Verse 17, as for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help, and our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us. The Egyptians, because these devils are also the modern day Egyptians. You're hoping that these devils will save you. One of these Trump or Biden will save you. A lot of y'all Joe Biden supporters, because these liberal devils pretend to be your friend. They pretend to be friend of Jake. Some of y'all for Trump though. Y'all think Trump gonna save. Trump is for y'all and shit. But all y'all bugged out. Instead they couldn't save. They couldn't save them. And they can't save y'all today. Verse 18, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go on our streets. Esau, hunting hunter. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come, And you 2/3 is coming again. Hey. Verse 19, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heavens. Of the heaven they pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Esau, man. Esau is aiding the Babylonians. Esau is the modern day Babylonians today. You know. Verse 20, the breath of our nostrils, anointed of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Yeah. So, the Egyptians could not protect y'all, could not save y'all back then. The Egyptians could not save y'all today. You know, that's why y'all come out. That's what this life is all about. You know, you're going to be destroyed along with Esau. Along with the modern day Babylonians and Egyptians. Verse 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, because y'all gonna get it. Thou dwellest in the land of Uz, the cup shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Verse 22, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no longer carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Sins are being discovered to these days. Yeah. Yeah, because Jake trusted in who? Jake trusted in the Egyptian to handle them going to be destroyed. You know, verse 6, we have given the hands to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians, and to be satisfied with bread. Begged. Verse 4, we have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. All this. To this day. And to this day, like, what's that dude's name? What's that dude's name? Wilder, right? That boxer, Wilder, Deontay Wilder. To this day, you know, there's a meme made about him. He was for real. He was passionate about it. That Jake reporter was acting like, what are you talking about, man? He said, we've been fighting for 400 years. You know, really longer than that. 400 years in this motherfucker. You know, even you count the Northern Kingdom, it's been longer. Even some Southern kingdoms sold over here from Spain. It's been longer. But you know his message was out there. You know, we've been, to this day, you know, longer than 400 years, we've been fighting. You know, our necks are under persecution, we labor and have no rest. Our people. Yeah. Days are coming again. Esau's going to show his horns again. Yeah, you're orphans and fatherless. Mothers are as widows. Verse 3. To this day. You know, it's Lamentations. Chapter 5. Yeah, man. Hey, our fathers have sinned. Verse 7. Chapter 5, verse 7. And we are not. We have borne their iniquities. You are your fathers. You know, to the third generation. Fathers come back. You know. To the third and fourth generation. That's when you come back and you serve your judgment. Verse 8, servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hands. Esau's supposed to serve us. These heathens supposed to serve us. Verse 9, we got our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Amen. Amen. Verse 10, our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. Also proves that Judah is kingdom of Judah is so-called black. That's the original color of Judah and the bulk of Judah. Judah is so-called black people primarily. Verse 11, this is coming again. This is proof of that as well. Verse 10. Verse 11, though, they ravish the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. That's coming again. Esau did that before, and it's coming again. And also during the race massacres, he'd also do that shit. And the Babylonians did that. The heathens. And Esau did that. Esau, modern day Babylonians. Verse 12, princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. Yeah, man. Verse 13, they took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. Took the young men to grind. Yeah, man. Verse 14, the elders have ceased from the gate, Basically, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Lamentations, sorrows, the beginning of sorrows. The beginning of sorrows is here. All these, verse 7, Matthew chapter 24, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. And verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Lamentations. Verse 9, they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. That'd be a persecution coming. You 2/3, as well as us, we're going to have to endure it, Verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. I'm getting to the point. Verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because so ultimately that false prophet, that them churches, right? Them so-called churches, ultimately them. The main one being the Roman Catholic Church, but the ones that came out of her. The ones that came out of that main Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, that fake church. Verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You see that. Yeah. Verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, same shall be saved. Verse 14, in this gospel the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And you see it. Actium in Italy, Actium in Japan, Australia, brothers in all these places, brothers in there's like a dude in the Philippines that broke down the name. He knows the truth, he knows the name. Brothers in Africa, the land of Ham, in East Tanzania, there's a brother there. There's a brother in South Africa, may still be up. Like, there's a brother in Central Africa. There's a brother in Nigeria. There's a brother among the Yoruba, them Jakes in West Africa. There's a brother in Bolivia, among Asher. Peru, tribe of Asher out there too. Brother in Costa Rica, you Zebulonites, you so-called Central Americans, the brother out there prophesying to y'all. Brother out in where else? Brother in Ishkar land, Sinaloa, Yasharala Sinaloa, GMS camp out there, man. GMS Mexico City, For you so-called Mexicans, you tribe of Ishkar. GMS undecima hora. GMS camp, I believe, in Simeon Land, the Dominican Republic. And I don't know if they're still Akim in Puerto Rico. The one in Simeon Land, though. One, of course, in Benjamin Land, Trinidad, Jamaica. Been there for a while. Suriname, Guyana. Jake's out there. Judah, maybe Judah. Benjamin out there. Probably a lot of Benjamites, because near that area. Brothers out there, man. Of course, all over Babylon. Canada as well. You have different Akim. Man, his brothers are all over. Two brothers in Italy now. Before there was one. His brother out fucking in Holland. Brother out in fucking, even Scandinavia is a GMS camp out there. Finland, I believe. There's a brother out in, Germany. Brother in Ireland. Prophesying to those Jakes, Israelite foreigners out there in Ireland, in Scotland. Hey, where my recent answers have come from, Ireland. Brother out there, man. Prophesying to those people. There's a brother out at, Scotland, of course. Of course, the UK, I can been out there for a while. A lot of y'all Jakes been marked, either for deliverance or death. Netherlands. You may have some in other areas soon, man. I believe there was one out in Russia, too, way back. I don't know if there still is. But there's brethren everywhere, according to Deuteronomy 24, Matthew 24, verse 14. And then shall the end come. No, the end is almost here. That's why endure into the end. Endure these times that are coming. To receive, you get put to death, you receive that crown of life. Verse 15, and when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, saying in the holy place, modern day abomination of desolation, that would be that RFID chip. Put in your temple, your body. Back then, it was what the Romans did in 70 AD. Verse 16, and let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Verse 17, let him which is in the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Hey, what I brought out earlier about the Maccabees, they fled to the wilderness. They were as pilgrims. Verse 18, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. It's going to be terrible. That calls for faith, patience, and faith of the saints. Verse 19, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. It's going to be bad. You have a child, that's extra burden. You're pregnant, that's extra burden. Or you have special needs. You have a kid that has special needs. Especially that young, a baby. Verse 12, but pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. What's coming up? The winter. It's autumn right now. The Sabbath day, because you're supposed to keep the Sabbath holy. Pray that they don't do what they did during the Maccabean era. Jake was going basically keeping the Sabbath, and he was massacred by Antiochus, that devil, which he has to be Cain or someone close to Cain. Verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. It's going to be bad. Jacob's trouble, a time like no other. It's going to be bad. You know? Hey, which Trump, man, you know, he's Nero. Nero's the one that was Caesar just before 70 AD. And you know, also Andrew Jackson, you know, that devil, the Gadite killer, Gadite murderer. You know, he may be Antiochus as well. He may be him. He got a proud ass spirit on him. He may be Antiochus. Verse 23, you know, then, verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, for the elect's sake. Because he's gonna shorten the days, and he's gonna raise that standard for the elect. It's like the door to the spiritual ark being closed to protect the elect and to keep the flood and you 2/3 out. Yeah. Y'all gonna be through out here, man. You know? Being deceived by them false prophets as well. Verse 23, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is a Mashiach, there believe it not, you know. Verse 24, which happened back then, is going to happen. Ecclesiastes, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 1, you know, basically going to happen again. Same people doing it. Same people here, same people going to do what they did back in their lot. Verse 24, for there shall arise false Christ, Hamashiachs, and false prophets. Ultimate ones being the Esau-Edom run Roman Catholic Church, and the churches that come out of them, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, it's not, they shall deceive the very elect. The elect, you know, they're the elect. They're chosen to get delivered from all this. You know, they're not going to be deceived. The 2/3 will. 2/3 are gonna. You know, and you know, when Esau rolls out the chip, Esau rolls that out. No, you already see it with that vaccine, how they're pushing it. You know, lying words, propaganda. They're probably gonna have their signs and wonder. Hey, Trump may be almost so-called dying of the Rona, and then they give him this so-called because they're gonna fucking stage this shit. Understand that? And and then he gets the shot. Oh, he's good now. You know, something like that. It cured him of the Rona. He never had it. That was bullshit. That's some of them lying signs and wonders. Verse 25, but behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, is he in the desert going on forth? Behold, he is in the chambers, believe it not. You know, because he's going to come in the clouds, them chariots. You know, for his lightning come out of the east and shine even to the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Yeah, man. So, the east to the west, for lightning come out of the east and shine even to the west, kind. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will eagles be gathered together. You know, verse 29, immediately after the tribulation on those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, talking about the nukes. and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Yahushai coming back in his chariot. His chariots, he'll cover the sky like the heavens, like Independence Day. Heaven shall be shaken. Verse 30, and all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with great power and great glory. The clouds of heaven, chariots above, compared to clouds. Verse, he cometh with clouds. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to another. Beam us up. Hey, it's coming. But y'all ain't aware. Y'all is at like the days of Noah. Y'all eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark. You're not until the flood came, man. Y'all, but the parable of fig trees for y'all, man. Y'all learn the parable of the fig tree. When this branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that the summer is nigh. Verse 33, so likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verse 34, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until all these things be fulfilled. This very generation is back. It's back. Not only happened in 70 AD, gonna happen again. This generation, the people that was in this generation, they're back. Verse 35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. I'm talking about this rulership right here. It'll pass away. The earth abideth forever. The literal earth abides forever. So his words, even though this kingdom, this world ruled by Esau's world is going to pass away. But these words, Yahushua's words, are not going to pass away. Verse 36, but of that day and hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Not even Yahushua, he doesn't know. Only Yahweh. Verse 37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. As the days of Noah were. Verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Sound familiar? Y'all just chilling out here. Y'all think y'all a good case. Verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and another left. Verse 42, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come, man. Yeah, you know, unless you don't know, if you ain't watching. But know this, verse 43, if the good man of the house had known and would watch the thief would come, he would have watched, he would not have suffered his house to be broken into. Therefore be ye also ready, verse 44, for in such an hour ye know, as you think not the Son of Man cometh. You think you're going to be in good case. Verse 45. Amen. Verse 45. Blessed is that servant who is Lord, when he cometh shall find so doing. Verse 47. Verse 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household to give him meat in due season. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, whom he cometh, shall find so doing. Verse 47, verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. Hey, verse 48, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayed this coming, verse 49, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, fall out. Verse 50, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not, and in an hour that he's not aware of. In verse 51, you those that fall out, go back into the world, he's going to come in a day when he looketh not for him, because y'all going to be lost in this world. In verse 51, and shall cut him asunder, man. He going to cut y'all asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The hypocrites, the actors, the posers, the fakers, they faking the funk. Esau, you're mad or what? The fakers, man. 2/3 of fakers, the foolish virgins, the wicked servant, man. Wicked servants, foolish virgins, 2/3. The hirelings. Hey, man, but, with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bear witness that they're the children of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And shalom to real sisters out there. Hey, you know what? The foolish virgin go into this as well. Then shall, verse 25, chapter 25, verse 1, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, when he took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Verse 2 and 5, likened unto these virgins. Verse 2, and 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. Verse 4, but the wise, you ain't got the oil, man. They ain't got the oil. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Verse 5, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. Verse 6, and as they all slumbered and slept. Verse 6, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Verse 7, then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Verse 8, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Verse 9, but the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. Go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Verse 11, after came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. You had the oil. You ain't had the oil. Ain't that the eyes had the eye salve? I'm gonna be through. Verse 13, watch therefore, for ye know neither the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh, man. Con. Neither the day nor hour when the sun cometh. The door was closed, was shut, and that's coming. After day came, those 5 wise virgins, it was shut. So that's the point right there. So I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit beareth witness that they're the children of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, I hope this live was edifying. Call out Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for letting me bring out this live, man. All praises. For putting it in me. Man, oh, hey man, endure to the end, endure to the end, endure to the end. Don't be like foolish virgin. Don't be like a wicked servant. Don't be like a foolish virgin. Endure to the end. Here, have your lamps trimmed. Dark times are coming. Gotta have them trimmed. So you be ready. You don't be outside when the door gets shut. Hey man, so yeah, and then and going to the end. Esau's kingdom is through. It's finished. It's over with. We almost out of here. Make your call in an election sure. Hey, so yeah, make sure you in that spiritual ark and you stay in there so you don't be outside whenever the door. Yeah. Have your oil. Be ready. Be in that spiritual ark so you don't. So you don't be left out. You don't be caught up in the overwhelming scourge that's coming. So you don't you don't get caught up in that overwhelming scourge when the enemy come in like a flood. And then ultimately the missiles if you survive that. Alright, so yeah, be destroyed with Esau. Yeah, so we almost out. Anyways, we almost at the end of the road, stay strong. Esau, you're through, you're going down. And Jacob got next, Yasharallah got next and forever. So it's Yasharallah forever. Ball, Yahba Shimya. Babksha, Yahba Shimya Oshai. Mawat Lababal, Babksha, Yahba Shimya Oshai. It's coming soon. And it's coming soon. Coming soon. Babksha, destroy this place. Bring death to this place soon. Yahba Shimya. Yahba Shimya Oshai. Babksha. Alright. Babksha. Y'all Ratzah be one of the elected, not the 2/3. Babksha. Alright, you almost out of here, and we be one of the elected, not the 2/3. Babksha. Alright, we almost out of here. We're almost out of here. And then Yasharallah forever. Esau, you're through. Esau, you're doomed. Esau, you're going down to the ground, through the ground, into the pit. Alright, Shalom. And it's Yasharallah forever. Remember that.